This is Always Talking Ball. Tyler Noe, Lance Barton. Real quick before we get started, as always, make sure you click like and subscribe on whatever platform you're tuning in on. Click the subscribe button on YouTube. Click the follow button on Spotify. Click the follow button, the plus button, whatever it is on Apple. Make sure you're following us on X at Always Talk Ball, on Instagram and TikTok at Always Talking Ball. We're putting out some good videos, some good clips. We love the interaction as always. So bring on the comments and the likes. Lance, let's get into some big games here. Sponsored by Branded Bills. Click the link in the episode description or click the QR code in the top right screen of the YouTube video. Lance is supporting his Another America. He's just the most patriotic podcaster out there, that's for sure. When you check out, you can get yourself an America hat. You can get yourself a Dad Life hat. Any colleges on there that you love, they're going to be on there. They're awesome. I just got an Indiana hat the other day. It's really nice. Type in the promo code branded15 for 15% off your first order. Again, click that QR code or click the link in the description of our episode. Clemson at Georgia Tech, noon, ESPN, down in Atlanta. Line currently at Clemson -3.5. So really a lot of money coming in on the Jackets. In this series, Clemson has won 9 in a row. And a lot of the games really have not been that close. For a little bit of injury note for Clemson, starting left tackle Tristan Lee and wide receiver Antonio Williams are questionable. So that would be big for them. Obviously, last game for Georgia Tech, Haynes King didn't play. They sat him out. I think obviously Georgia Tech would love Haynes King to play. I think he's going to play. They want to play him as much as they can. I think they do feel really good about Zach Philo coming in in that backup role. And I think Brent Key is just a guy who, like, he's the next man up guy. Like, I don't care who you are. Guy's injured. You're coming in and you're going to play hard because you're a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. Clemson last week, I don't know what happened to them against Troy. They started off in a 16-0 hole. They had a kind of a fluky pick six. Obviously, the D locked down in the second half. Offense came back. They won by 11. This is a game that I've had circled personally because my ACC standings were very much the subject of talks in the offseason that I put out there. And you can go check them out on Instagram and TikTok and all that. This is a game that I've had circled since July.
Something I'm worried about with Georgia Tech after that first game at Colorado was Brent Key. Obviously, his background as being an offensive line guy. If I believe in a coach to get something right, is going to be what he's. We have a ton of respect for Brent Key, and I think he can get that offensive line right. Problem I have with that is, like, again, Clemson's defensive front. Like, I know, man, they may not have been like as elite as what we thought they were going to be first few weeks in the season, but I still think that they are elite, and I think that they will be throughout the season. That worries me in this game for a team that really needs to be able to run the football. You talk about, like, the issues that Georgia Tech has had with Clemson. I mean, really any ACC team, but especially, like, Georgia Tech has had major issues with Clemson for a long time now, dating back to the triple option days and since Brent Key's been there. Brent Key still wants to run the football. His teams need to be able to run the ball. Obviously, the triple option teams need to be able to run the ball. Clemson has always been really good at stopping the run. Last year, they had a few issues there at the end of the year, but they've been really good against Georgia Tech at stopping the run. And that's what worries me about Georgia Tech in this game, is that I don't know that Haynes King can drop back and stand in the pocket and just beat Clemson throwing the football. I don't know if he can do that. I love Haynes King. He's a gladiator. He's a warrior. He's going to get you some really tough, hard yardage, and I think he'll make some plays with his feet in this game if he plays. I'm sure he's going to play. But either way, no matter who the QB1 is, the number one thing Georgia Tech's going to want to do is run the football with Jamal Haynes, whether it's Haynes King, whoever that may be. And I think they're going to have trouble doing that against Clemson. Clemson's offense has been the story, though, that's been really struggling through these first few weeks. Can Georgia Tech defensively, with Blake Giddy, the new defensive coordinator that they brought in from Texas, what do they have that they can draw up to be able to really cause problems for Clemson right now? Cade Klubnik does not look anything like what we thought he was going to look this year, like everybody thought he was going to look. Clemson's running game is not very good at all right now. So if you're a Clemson backer in this, I'd be worried to death about what Clemson's offense is going to look like against Georgia Tech in this game. Uh, for me, though, man, it just comes back to like well, I'm gonna ask you that first. Like, do you think that are you worried about Georgia Tech's rush attack against this Clemson defense and this defensive
No,
front for Clemson? You're not?
I love the fact that Georgia Tech is going the NBA route and, like, doing, like, load management for Haynes King. They're like, we're playing I don't even know who they played in week 2, but, "Oh, we're just gonna sit him out. We're gonna win that game, be fine. We gotta keep him healthy throughout the year." They're not gonna be able to do that against many teams in the ACC, but, uh, I know Miami's defense was atrocious last year, but I remember them coming in last year to Atlanta, and I think it was a noon game, and they offense couldn't do much. Cam Ward was kind of bottled up a little bit, and yeah, they just could not stop Haynes King. They had gosh, what's the other Pyron was his last name was the
Yep.
quarterback.
Jack Pyron.
Maybe even 5. I think they ran 3 quarterbacks in that game. They just
Yep.
kept running and running. Clemson's defense, yes, it's a little different. I'm going to go against one of the trends that I have backed for years, and I continue to back it, but just in certain situations, I'm not going to do it. And I love road teams at noon, going on the road. We talked about it with Illinois last year. We talked about it with Iowa. They covered. They didn't win the game, but they covered that spread. Baylor went on the road at noon last week.
I think
I just,
I
yeah,
think I think you're right about that, man. I think it is like it's just when you go on the road, we all see these environments. These environments at these home stadiums are just they look and feel and seem significantly tougher at night than they
yeah,
are during the day. And I agree with you when the road team just wake up and go play football. There is no like distractions. You're not sitting there all day waiting to play and the crowd's not getting all liquored up and everything for that game. Like I do think that there is something to that. I just think the atmosphere is not as juiced up at 11 a.m. or a noon local kick as opposed to a 3:30 Eastern or 6 or 7 o'clock at night. I don't disagree with that at all.
so I'm going against it, man. I'm taking Georgia Tech plus 3.5 in this game. And I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction, and I'm going to take Georgia Tech to win the game straight up.
Nice, man. You and I talked about this before the year. Last year, we went back on some of our preseason stuff, and it bit us. So
Yeah.
you've been riding this. You've been driving that rambling wreck, all aboard that rambling wreck all off season. I like him too. I had him going 9-3 this year, and one of those losses was to Clemson in this game. And I think the best thing for Clemson, call me crazy for this, because like, why would you rather play on the road than play at home? In some of these situations, like Florida, how toxic everything is in Gainesville right now, they need to get the hell away from Gainesville. And just all you've got is your brothers around you, and it's us against the world, and go on the road and go play football. Clemson right now, everybody in the world's doubting them after that Troy deal, after they lost at home to LSU, and they're hearing it from their own fans. They're hearing it from the national media. Let's get out of Clemson. Let's go together as a team, as a band of brothers, and go play a road game somewhere together, and let's kick somebody's ass. And do I think they're going to spank Georgia Tech? I do not, because I think Brent Key and Georgia Tech are that good, that tough, and I think they're going to give Clemson all they want. But this line, I think, is an overreaction, man. I just do. Thought that last week in another game, and I was wrong. But I think that line of being at 3.5, this could be an all-out war, and Clemson could win this game 24-20, and that's a cover. So I do think Clemson and Dabo find a way to win this game. It won't be pretty. I do think the offense still has some struggles, but I think Clemson's defense steps up, makes the difference in this game, and this Tom Allen defense makes a difference in this game. They slow that Georgia Tech running game down enough, force a couple of turnovers, and we saw Georgia Tech be a little careless with the football against Colorado. And I think Clemson wins this game by more than 3 points, probably still around one possession. And I think Clemson covers the spread, and I will make it a best bet as well. So I'll take Clemson minus 3.5 as a best bet.
Okay, split decision here on ATB going head to head in that noon matchup on ESPN. Follow us on X at Always Talk Ball. We'll give out our bets on Saturday morning. Instagram, TikTok as well. We put out some clips of kind of just some clips from the shows, some predictions, all that good stuff. YouTube, obviously, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. But yeah, these are pod bets. So we're going to keep track of these pod bets here and what our record is. And hopefully we continue our winning ways. We continue to hover above that 50% and we can make some money for you guys. So again, we appreciate you guys listening. For Lance Spartan, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. And we will see you next time.